Hi, everybody. I am Lady Stars and Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa, and this is the weekly healing messages for January 8th through the 15th. Now, there's just so very much to say and so little time, so I'm just going to start speeding through this so that I can get it out before the video cuts me off. I only got like 30 minutes before it shuts me down. First off, I'm going to say bluntly, the spirit guide of the walrus crawled into my house earlier in the week and pretty much has told me it's going to be staying with us for a little bit. So you might want to look up what the spirit medicine is, the guidance, the totem of a walrus, because it may be bringing some information to you that will help you over this coming week and maybe even next week. I posted a little bit of it on Facebook. I will go back and post a little bit more so that you can go back and find some information about that. Also, the runes for this week, because I'm not going to go in deep about the runes, because you can always check my website. There's more information there. Or you can check the Facebook page. I'll have information there. The runes this week is Jebo, Knez, Onsus, and Dagaz. Now, Jebo is speaking to us of the gift of both giving and receiving, as well as the gift of life itself. And is it feeling more hospitable? Are you hospitable? Or do you feel the hostage? There's a message in that conversation right there of Jebo for you as you're moving forward into this year. I'm also being given Knez. Knez speaks to us of our craft, our fire. It's the torch. It's the ignition, the start button, the beginning. And this is also speaking to us of the energy coming in, because next week we have a new moon coming in next week. And this is energy building up for that new moon. Onsus is speaking to us of our messaging system, how we communicate, our inspiration, our knowledge. Where are we getting this? Onsus is also speaking directly with the energy going on in the atmosphere through astrology, because you have Mercury actually moving this week on 11/11. Okay, it's moving on 11/11. Mercury is moving from from Sagittarius and into Capricorn. And if you're sensitive, you're most likely going to feel this move, especially while it's sitting in the cusp. So you might be feeling this kind of energy going on when it happens. Just giving the warnings that I'm being given. And Dagaz. Dagaz is all about the mystery of awakening, the mystery of enlightenment. Are you awakening? Are you enlightening? Are you coming into the truth and the realization? Or are you still having the candy-coated world over your eyes and you're not seeing the true story? And Dagaz is going to play a little game with you this week about helping you start to see it. And are you seeing it? Now, I'm also being given by Spirit fake heat. And for me, fake heat is anything that man has made that creates heat. And what this means is, when I'm smelling fake heat, it's basically meaning fake warmth, fake truth, fake heart and soul. Are you seeing the warning signs there? Are you smelling fake heat? Are you feeling fake heat? And I'm being given that for just a warning for you to observe and notice as the week goes in. It also might help you with some of that walrus medicine if you go back and you Google that spirit guide. Now, like I said, we have a new moon coming in Tuesday next week on the 16th. New moons are all about new beginnings, new starts, just new, basically. However, before new can actually start and to be put into that direction, you have to figure out what it has to do to put you into that new direction, and what things have to be taken place in order to start that new direction. So this energy this week is going to be giving you some of that information you're going to need once that new moon hits. Now, I'm also reminding you again, Mercury is moving into Capricorn on January 11th. 111. Okay, it's moving into Capricorn, and Capricorn is a loaded sign right now, and I mean loaded. I mean, it has Pluto in it, it has Pluto in it, it has Saturn in it, the Sun in it, Mercury, which is coming into it, and Venus. So, I mean, it's loaded with energy right now, and this is considered our 10th house universally. However, if I was doing your own personal astrology, I would point out directly which house that energy would be taking place in. But since I do the videos, I leave it as universal. And when I say universal house of the 10th house, this is supposed to be your career house, but it's how you're also viewed outwardly by others. It is goals and stuff. I confuse these a little bit, that 10th and that 11th house, because the 11th house is your outer community. However, your career is also part of that outer community. So it's part of getting those goals into that growth, and then making that outer community in that 11th house see you the way you want to be seen, not the way you illusion that you're seeing, but the way you really want to be viewed. So it's bringing that career energy, that outward viewing of you, into light of how to create that. And with all those signs there's no way that something's not happening in your life right now. Now, I'm also being given, and I wanted to bring this to your attention because I find it kind of interesting. This is 2018. When you add that up, you get an 11. When you add that up, you get an 11. But when you take the 1 and the 1, you get a 2. Okay? What I'm being given is 38, which then turns into 11, and then it also turns into a 2. I'm being given for this week the number 38. And I'm not going to go into it. I don't have enough time. But it's kind of like an extra oomph on the year for this first month, especially this week. But I keep being told 38, 38, 38, 38 over and over again. I mean, everything just keeps showing me the number over and over again. And if I'm not getting 38, I'm getting 4. Okay? 4 speaks to us, for me, 4 speaks to us of creation, but even bigger than what we think of. The things that are important to us that we create within our lives. 4 to me, when they usually are speaking to me, is like universal creation, like the big pictures is when they usually use 4 when they're talking to me. But this also has to do with the 4 directions, the 4 elements. Sun, moon, stars, planets. Okay, bigger. It's the big pictures of the 4, and those 4 energies that create, or you will use within your life to create those 4 energies into helping you lift up into that creative energy. Just we are much smaller in what we view because we get stuck so much still in the physical world of what it is we're seeing. And I went into all of that because I'm being told also you want to deal with, we're going to see a lot of creativity. We're going to need discipline. And I keep getting fall down, like fall to earth. See, but when I've worked with spirit, I've come to realize fall for me isn't, you've heard this saying, we all have fallen from grace, or we fall from grace. And what I get from spirit is, somewhere that's been passed down wrong. That's wrong. It's not a fall from grace. It's a fall to grace. All those mistakes, all those misperfections, all of those things that have caused you to fall down and stumble, eventually are part of what brings you to grace, brings you to your soulfulness. And the question is, when are you going to fall to grace, is what I'm being given. And help you understand that's a part of what's supposed to happen within that soulful maturity. But on a bigger level, when I get the fall to grace, I get, as I'm going into it, I get, like people, empaths, so to speak, empaths and your sensitive energies. And people will try to understand that empathic gift. And The difference between empathy and an empath is empathy is something you have for somebody. An empath is actually feeling it. Well, an empath has to do with part of that divine spark, part of that divine gift. Now, how can you honestly ever come into a true connection with your empathic gift and with the divine energy and the divine gift that's being given to you if you only view it from a physical world? The divine is not only of the physical world. And this is where a lot of that confusion and that pain and that problem comes in on that empathic gift. Because we're still viewing an empath from our ego's physical world. Okay? Not from the soulful oneness of all that is. This has to do with being able to pull it in and hollow it out and really search through those feelings and those energies and those thoughts and those actions, and then truthfully see the truth and then break through. That is divine, not the physical panic that goes with the empath. That's where you're still in the physical, okay? And in order to fall to grace, you have to start to connect with the divine side, not only the physical. And that has a lot to do with what's going on this year, not just this month. Because like I said, this year is a 2-year. So it's speaking to us of creativity, harmony, balance, and discipline as well. And in order for us to actually make that harmony, create that balance, some of that divineness has to come through as well. And that's where you get closer, as they would say, to God. Like I said, because I don't choose to tell you what your path should or shouldn't be. I just am using the words that are perfect for the way I'm speaking it. I'm also being given a lot of ancestors, a lot of ancestors and relationships or past relationships that are working their way through the system and working their way maybe through your past, letting go of those things so that proper healing can be made as you move forward. But I have a lot of ancestors that are standing by helping us with that, as well as some that are helping us to deal with those things. And that is still a healing situation, even though sometimes healing has to also do with digging up stuff you don't want to dig up. Now, because in order to heal, you have to be able to let it go, fall again. Now, positive energies for this week. You have Jupiter. Let me just say Jupiter, okay? Mars are in Scorpio. That is a water energy that is the 8th house. This is what relationships own and deal with. Jupiter brings abundance, knowledge, and manifestation, period, to it. Mars brings in passion, action, fire, but it also brings in the warrior from within. And it is speaking directly to Chiron, the wounded healer, and directly to Neptune. These are energies to help you create with Jupiter's abundance within the water energies, because we're talking about Pisces is where Chiron and Neptune is. 12, which is your 12th house universally, which speaks to the end, letting go, the stop, forget it, we're done, so the new can begin. But in order for the stop, forget it, we're done to happen, you have to actually stop, forget it, and we're done. Okay? And Jupiter is bringing that abundance in this week, speaking to those relationships and what those relationships own. It's also speaking to the healing that is needed and the magic that you need to create so that you can get past that universal 12th house and move into those new beginnings. But it's also speaking to you of making sure you're not using that Neptune energy in creating another life for yourself somewhere. Because Neptune is funny that way. That's where the magic is. That's where the creation is. But that's also where the lie can begin. Because you choose to not want to create from truth. You're creating from like ill waters if you're holding on to what is no more, period. So, like I said, this is about those relationships, what they own, what they possess, basically. And what is it that's not healing? Why is it not healing? How can we heal it? And how can we magically use that spirit of the power of magic and creation to make it heal and start to move forward? Now, you also have Uranus, Pallas, and Eris sitting basically all right on top of each other in Aries. Now, they are in the first house. This speaks to our core energy, and it is speaking directly to Mercury. Okay? Mercury, which is in Sagittarius right now, but by the end of the week will be in Capricorn. And like I said, on 11/11, you're most likely, if you're an empath, you're going to feel that energy as it goes through that cusp. Because Pallas is the warrior goddess Athena. She is the wise. She is going to be strategizing everything. Uranus speaks to us about our independence, our individuality, of freedom. How do we create ourselves and make it be brought out? How is your uniqueness? How is it that you are known for being exactly who you are? And you know what? I'm great and beautiful for who I am. And you can like it or not, I don't care. Okay? And Eris is speaking about those things that kept you from being that person, bringing that truth up out of you. And that is speaking directly with communication with your soulfulness, as it's still in spiritual energy, because it'll be in the Sagittarius, this fire. Okay. And then it's going to shift into Capricorn, which is an earth energy, which is also going to bring you into earth energy. Is funny. Earth energy is grounding energy, but it's not just grounding energy. It deals with the death and the birth. It deals with the creation itself. Okay. And it is Capricorn. It is dealing with creating the proper foundation within that universal 10th house. So it's Mercury's communication within all of those energies and speaking to your individuality. And how can you strategically bring this all out so that you can not just shine, but honey, glow. Glow. That's what you want this year. You don't want to shine and outshine somebody else, because that's not what this is about. It's not about outshining people and trying to make yourself look better than others. It's just about being able to glow so they can see how brilliantly beautiful you are and how you need to be known for exactly who and what it is you are. Those other people can still shine. They can still glow. It's not going to take your glow. And communication right now with how you're going to create that energy and bring it out is going to help you start to find how to go past shine and into glow. Now, we also have some sextiles this week. And this is coming right out of that 10th house of Capricorn, but it's speaking directly with Pluto, the sun, and Venus. So it's your core energy of who and what you are, your sensitivities, and the death, decay, and destruction for the change to create the rebirth, renewal, and regeneration. It's speaking directly again to Chiron. This is earth energy speaking to water energy. This is healing, so the beginning can happen. Chiron is the wounded healer. So Pluto is asking you to let it go, put it down. If it's not serving you, drop it and start growing with what is serving you. And Sun is going to be talking to that core energy of how and what it is you need. And Venus is going to be speaking to you of how you can create and bring that energy in so that it's gloriousness that you can have in your life versus the touchy, sensitive shit you don't want there. Okay? And it is speaking in this sextile also to Jupiter. Abundance, growth, and knowledge, higher knowledge of how to go about it. Let me remind you, Scorpio is birth, death, and birth. Birth, death, and rebirth. It's the mystery of Scorpio. It is all about that mystery. And we're also talking about it being the 8th house, which is those relationships and what it is they own. What it is they own, basically, what it is that they're responsible for, they deal with, those relationships. What are those relationships bringing to the table? And you've got Jupiter just banging down the door here. And this is positive energy. But sometimes those positive energies, like I said, you want to look out for the fake heat. You want to look out for where it's not the real stuff, because that is dag-ass asking you if you're truly maturing or not. Now, for the challenges, here is the secret. The secret right now is all about Libra. The Libra is the 7th house. That is your relationships, period. And let me remind you, anything you care about, you have a relationship with. Anything you care about, you have a relationship with. Your children, your parents, your neighbors, your colleagues, your family, your lover, your car, your home. When you don't have a home, you know all about your relationship with no home. When you have no money, you know all about that relationship with not having any money. When you have no car, you know all about the relationship with not having a car. So a relationship is anything that you care about. Okay, and that's where Libra is right now. But Libra has in it, which most astrologers are not going to be talking about because they don't deal with these areas, has Maki Maki in it. It also has Haumea in it. And they are in opposition with Uranus. With Uranus, which is in Aries, and it's with Uranus, Pallas and Eris. Okay, your independence, your individuality, the wise. How does Athena the wise bring out the strategy from the warrior goddess to create the independent freedom that you truly want and desire in life, as well as to create you to be who exactly you are, because we are still in that core energy of Aries first house, okay, until we move, which she's got only 3 more months, Uranus does, to really get this information in and really make this core energy blossom, okay, before it moves into that 2nd house. And Libra is all about balance. Libra is all about harmony and balance and tipping those scales and finding where it's not. Haumea is, I have to look over here because I don't remember it. I don't use it all the time, so I have it written down. It is a creation goddess. It is speaking to your collective consciousness. You know, are you using your collective consciousness? I've been saying it over and over again. We have to rise our lower consciousness so our higher consciousness rises with it. We have to lower we have to rise that unconsciousness and how we view things that we view negatively, and learn how to start viewing them more positively, so that the creation of the consciousness that we live and we see in our physical world actually rises to what we want. Okay, this is Haumea doing this trick behind all the scenes. Here's the secret. Like I said, she is the goddess of fertility, childbirth, and of nature and fire. She is nature, fire, and rocks, creation of creation, and the building of the rebirthing, basically. But she does it through the collective consciousness. So you've got to rise with that collective consciousness. And she's speaking directly with your individuality. She's also speaking, Maki Maki speaks to us of our human evolution. On a lower level, Maki Maki speaks to us of how is it we carefully observe our warrior god part of us and how we defend ourselves. What is our defense? Are we using it properly? Because are we still feeling like we're buried in a swamp of shit? And if so, why are we feeling this way? Because this has to do with coming into that human evolution and starting to move up into that collective consciousness. So Maki Maki is speaking to us in the long run of how it is that we evolve, what it is that is being taught into that creative life of that human evolution. It tells you to observe small amounts of people at this level. Start viewing people individually for where they truly are soulfully, not as a group. Maybe slow down and pay a little attention to a few less people, and more important to the ones that you really truly want to be viewing. Because maybe those are the people you should be having in your life. This has to do with creativity and how it is, like I said, we move out of that swamp of shit and into the great life that we desire. it itself, that energy of learning how to mature spiritually, is speaking to Chiron, the wounded healer. It's speaking to the wounded healer itself. So what is it within those relationships? I don't want to say are lower than you, because some people just haven't evolved yet, but are lower in vibration than what you want to be part of. Okay? And start connecting with the ones that are in the vibration you want to be part of. And stop connecting with the ones that aren't so much. Because your wounded healer is trying to help you move into a higher vibration anyway and move up and out. As well as it is also speaking to Mercury and this move that is making within this communication. So you might find yourself getting irritated easily with people as Mercury's communication moves from that soulful energy, which is the fire and the passion of your soulful energy, and into the foundation of creation for you, because that's what it's going to equal out from this Libra energy. That Libra is spitting out some major energies, but on a regular astrology chart, nobody's going to see that right now. Now, we also have Ceres and Leo. Ceres and the North Node in Leo, which is your 5th house of creativity again. And it is speaking again to Jupiter and Mars, as well as Vesta in Scorpio, which is again what your relationships own. So the creativity of what it is your relationships own versus the lion, the roar of the lion, okay, is what I'm getting. And are you using it? Because the North Node ain't going to let you move forward until you're learning what you need to learn to move forward. So are you learning how to create from that soul fire with intelligence, because of Jupiter's higher learning and abundance, along with standing up for yourself and what you believe in? Are you able to start seeing these things in order to move forward within those relationships and what those relationships bringing to the table, what it is they own? Now, also, you've got Uranus, Pallas, and Eris are squaring Pluto, Sun, and Pluto and Sun in Capricorn. So your individuality is questioning the ability to create what it is you're wanting to create within that career energy, that gulf energy of how it is you're viewed and seen, of what it is you're growing for yourself and within that community. So where's the leader in you? Find it is basically what you're going to be looking for. Find the leader in you, but the leader in you also speaks to you of soulfulness, not egoness. Again, back to collective consciousness. And lastly, Chiron is speaking to Mercury. The wounded healer is speaking to Mercury as it moves from that soulful energy of Sagittarius and the wild fire that Sagittarius is, the adventurer trying to take on, curious and wanting to know and understand everything, into, now that I've learned something, let me apply it into how to make it into a foundation so that I can build and grow on it for a long time. And with all those energies that Mercury is moving in there with, because like I said, Mercury is moving into Capricorn with Pluto, Lilith, the Sun. Where do I have it written down? Venus, Saturn. Saturn is all about rules and boundaries, and it's going to be crossing rules and boundaries as it goes in there. So as that happens, as the moon moves through that energy, as not the moon, as Mercury moves through that energy, it's going to be also crossing Saturn's rules and boundaries and walls. And why are they there? And are they helping support me and the foundation I'm trying to create? So you might be finding issues within that. But that is Dagaz asking you, are you evolving? And if not, why? I love you. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. And by all means, you can always come to the website and get your own special personal readings or other stuff that I do. Check out my products as well. Because you can also catch the reading there anytime if you've missed it on Facebook or you can go to YouTube to check out the weekly video every week. I love you, and I send you so many blessings, and I wish you healing. Bye.